Breaker Crunchers, welcome to issue 113 of Couch Crunchers, where we've got a movie to review, but we have more important things to talk about as well with DC Fandome happening. With me is our project mechanic, Sam, and we've got a special guest from the upcoming Flaccid podcast, Quantum Kyle. How you doing, Quantum Kyle?
Doing good.
Quantum Kyle, I think that name's selling yourself short, bro. You're looking pretty jacked these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking good, buddy, man. Thanks for joining us today. Lance had some business to attend to last minute. Got invited to a gender reveal, and Tyler's got to work tonight. But
wait, is Lance the one revealing his gender?
He is. He's trying to decide what he is.
I wonder.
Keep the cops on stand. Keep the cops on standby. Hey, doing it again.
Yeah, well, we have a fun show tonight. We are going to be reviewing Project Power, but DC Fandome happened today, and there is so much to unpack there that we're going to spend a good chunk of time on that instead. Really exciting stuff from DC this week. I know Sam's excited about it, and Kyle, you've been watching it today, and I'm stoked. I'm really stoked for all the DC stuff. So, without further ado, do you guys want to talk about anything that you guys have been watching, reading, playing, or do we want to just get right into the review?
You know, I'm wrapping up season 3 of Dark on Netflix. Okay. It's a real timey-wimey, mind-bendery movie, or series, I should say. It's been a lot of fun. If you miss a little bit, it can be tough to keep track. You have basically at least 3 versions of the main characters. You have a present day, a middle future, and then a distant future version of all of them. And they just it's like a pretzel. Like they're just going all over the place. The first season, it was like this murder mystery that had some science fiction elements. And then the second season, like they forgot about the murder mystery part. And it was like this post-apocalyptic young adult type thing. And then in the third season, to kind of really shake things up, they added a parallel universe. So it's like, okay, but who was killing the kids? Like, we forgot about that bit. Are we ever going to wrap that up? I don't know. I hope by the end of season 3, I'm about midway through. I haven't got to the end of it, but hopefully by the end of it, I find out who was killing those kids, because that was really the part that got me hooked.
That's interesting. So they're getting like all deep into other nonsense, but not actually talking about the main plot point you came for. That's funny.
What about you, Kyle? What are you watching?
Right now, oh man, my favorite podcast, Couch Crunchers, just started going live, man. On YouTube. I'm just like, wow. It's loading right now.
Oh, thanks for the plug.
That's me. How am I getting there? Oh
that was you. That was you 2.5 seconds ago.
Yeah. Right. Not really much has happened. Mainly just school stuff.
Ugh. Are you doing remote or are you going in person?
Yeah, remote school. It sucks. It's so bad. But yeah, not really much has happened. Just watched Project Power. Today was eventful as hell. Like. It's like the Project Power. I had to see it this morning because last night I was going to watch it with my friend, but he didn't show, so I just watched it by myself this morning. And then the DC Fandome thing, and then my family came to visit, and then this thing. Like, it was just a lot of stuff happening today. And then I realized I have so much homework.
What's your favorite subject?
Probably film and TV.
Film and TV. Kyle's got ambitions.
Ambitions, guys.
Yeah, but you got to take care of those math projects to get you through school, man.
Yeah.
Got to get yourself that academic scholarship to Cal Arts.
Absolutely, man. Well, that's cool. So, been going to school remotely, not enjoying that super a lot. You know, you're not the only one that I've heard that from. I've got some nephews that are a bit younger than you, and they also are not enjoying online school. They miss their friends and whatnot. Crazy circumstances we're living in right now with the virus.
You know who really hates online school?
Who's that?
Moms. Moms hate it. They hate it the worst.
It's a lot of work, man, especially if you have a lot of kids.
My wife
You know a lot of kids, dude.
The first few days, she was like hovering around the table, kitchen table. There's 6 kids perched on their computers around the table, and she's like monitoring them with her little yardstick. So every time one of them nodded off, pop. now it's been like 2 weeks, and she's just like sitting on the couch, sipping a drink, just like whatever. I don't care what they're doing.
It's it gives a glimpse into the eyes of what it's like to be a teacher. That's one positive thing, I guess, is that all the parents are understanding how annoying it can be to be the teacher. But it's also a lot of work. Like, teachers are trained to be teachers. Parents are not necessarily trained to be school teachers. So it's been tough. My biggest disappointment with all of this is that Arizona is still shut down to the point that we're not going to get to watch Tenet in theaters here, 2 weeks from now?
Or New Mutants, man. New Mutants, August 28th.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a bummer too, but I'm more disappointed about Tenet.
We might have to do a road trip to some open theaters.
Man, I would be so down. I was
literally. We take you too, but we can't cross state lines with a minor.
Yeah.
I was literally.
Are you guys gonna buy Mulan? It's gonna be on Disney Plus for like $30.
I'm still talking to some people. I don't want to spend $30, but at the same time, I'm trying not to go and see everybody. I'm trying to be a little cautious, but I've been allowing myself to see close friends and family, and that's actually a lot of people because I've got a big family. And so what I'm trying to do is see if I can get some family and friends in on it and do a little get together at my house. We can all split the price of Mulan and watch it together.
Wait, who's going to be the voice of the Eddie Murphy dragon?
Nobody.
Yeah,
no, I'm saying, Max, in your house, one of you has to be the dragon.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We could just put our own lines in, pretend to be Mushu.
You know what you should do is everywhere Mushu would be, put a line from Samuel L. Jackson from Snakes on a Plane.
Oh boy.
Oh my God. I've had enough of these mother effing dragons on this mother effing plane.
That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm wanting to split it though. I figure, the Harkins here, they do the popcorn you can pick up. So go pick up a big old bag of popcorn, invite some people over. If we can split the price of the movie, watch it together, it could be a fun thing to do with my wife's family or something. But yeah, I don't love the idea of paying $30 for a movie, but we've got to review it,
Yeah.
My Bill and Ted's next week, and that's coming to digital. And so I was planning on splitting that with some people. But
are you looking at me?
I mean, potentially with you, yeah. Yeah.
I have to get a Cash App or something on my phone. I'm starting to rack up a huge debt to you and Lance.
Mostly to Lance. Well, okay, you know what's funny? So what was it?
I think it was Wild Bill's Grape.
You know what? I would. But the first one we did was The Invisible Man, where we rented it and kind of all split the cost of it. But Lance thought he was buying it on his, and it ended up that he was logged into my Vudu on his TV when we watched it, and he bought it on my card. So that was fun. But he paid me, I think, the $5 you owed me, so that you could just pay him, kind of a thing.
You know what? I think I ended up having to rent that one on my own because I missed the window.
Oh, did you?
I think Tyler and I both missed the window to watch that one.
It's a short window, man. I think you get 48 hours. Yeah. But I'm excited for Bill and Ted's. I mean, I'm not some super fan of Bill and Ted, but I've always enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to
the first one was filmed right here in Arizona.
Yeah, man, at the Fiesta Mall, right?
No, it's at Metro Center.
Metro Center, okay.
But they filmed the water slide or the water park scenes at Golfland. And there's one scene that takes place at a park, and that park was right across the street from my junior high school. So that's a real throwback for me.
That's cool. So Bill and Ted, when does it come out?
Next week.
Wait,
28th, I think.
Kyle, have you ever seen any of the original Bill and Ted's? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Literally, when I saw the trailer, I was so confused. I had no idea what it was, but I was interested at least. It was just
it is so dumb,
dude.
I have a theory that our generation is defined by Bill and Ted. Anybody who's older than us, they don't associate with Bill and Ted's. Anybody who's younger than us, they don't even know who that is. They have no They have no association with Bill and Ted.
I was intrigued though. It was like it was Keanu Reeves, John Wick speaking like a surfer dude. So it was like, oh, that's a little strange. So yeah, I was excited, or like interested at least.
Oh, Bill and Ted's is amazing.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I wanted to rewatch them because I don't own them, and they were on Hulu, but now they're not anymore. Oh. So I'm like, dang it! Now I have to figure out some other method. Go ahead.
Like, here's the deal: Keanu Reeves has only ever played one role, and that role is Ted Theodore Logan. All his roles are just variations on Ted Theodore Logan.
I don't know about that.
Whoa!
That's awesome, man. So yeah, that's what we're reviewing next week is Bill and Ted. So if you guys want to follow along with us, that'll be next week. It comes out on Friday, so it's a quick turnaround. We understand you may not be able to have time to watch it. I don't know if it's a movie you're going to be that concerned about spoilers on, though. So we'd love to have you guys tune in next week for Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Isn't that what this one is?
No. This is Face the Music.
Face the Music. Bogus Journey was the second one. Yeah.
That's where they go to hell.
Yeah. Well, as for me, I have been doing a couple of things. One, I just finished Avatar: The Last Airbender for the first time last night. My wife and I have been watching it, and we just finished it. It was awesome.
Wait, that was your first watch?
My first watch of Avatar, yeah. I never had cable growing up, and so I just never even knew it existed until the show was already over, and then I didn't really have an interest in watching a cartoon until I realized that it's freaking awesome. It's so good. So that was pretty fun to watch. In fact, the season 3 we watched in like a span of 2 days.
People are still talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. They're still breaking it down. Like, I see new YouTube videos about Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that show's been over for over a decade.
Yeah, since 2008. Yeah. No, it's really good. So that was really fun to watch that, and then I had a real fun adventure this past week.
That show's been over since Quantum Kyle was born, dude.
My brother just waltzed into my room, and I was like so scared. I was like, "Crap, this is it." But
no problem, man.
No worries, man.
Take your stuff. Don't worry about it.
What year were you born, Kyle?
2005.
Okay, so you were born the same year Avatar started. You're the same age as Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Wow.
Wait,
have you watched it?
What month did it start?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look.
Because I was born January.
Yeah, probably September.
Then you're older.
I'm older.
You're older.
Way to go. You're older than Aang.
Yeah.
The Avatar.
Aang's the arrow guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the downvote.
He's the downvote. But yeah, watch that. Had a really good time with it. My brother's been like begging me to watch it for a while, so I'm glad I finally got around to it. And then the other thing is I had a fun adventure this week. I due to a retailer mistake, I was able to get a new graphics card for my computer for free. So that was pretty exciting. And it's a decent graphics card, not like the top of the line, but a good one. And so it made me think, well, shoot, I got this new graphics card for free. Rather than getting an Xbox Series X, should I just upgrade my PC to make it a little bit more like ready for next gen? And all week I kept thinking about it. And then I bought some RAM to upgrade my computer for cheap, installed the RAM, and my computer crashed on me. And then I took it in and they got it fixed. It just turns out I installed the RAM wrong. But that made me realize two things. One, it would cost me probably $800 to get my PC to be as close to as good as the Xbox Series X that's coming out. And even then, it still wouldn't be as good. So we don't know the Xbox Series X price, but it's probably going to be like $500, maybe $600 at the most. So it would cost me more to get my PC to that level and still not be to that level. Plus, clearly I'm not that good with computers as I thought I was. So do I really want to hassle with this?
Dude, you want to know how to build a gaming computer? Just watch that very sweaty Henry Cavill video of him assembling his gaming computer.
It's funny because like I have a degree in computers, but I never my degree never required me to get the practical on hands experience. I was going more the programming route, which don't get me wrong, I'm not a good programmer at all. Like in fact, I've forgotten everything I learned during my degree as far as programming.
Your entire secondary education was a waste. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, like most people in the world. Yes, pretty much. It helped me get my foot in the door with the job I'm in, and I'm very happy about that. So it was worth it. And my whole degree cost me $6,000, and I don't have any student debt. So
oh wow, that's great.
Yeah, and I got it done in 6 months, 8 months. I got 80 credits done in 8 months, and the other 40 I had done previously in community college. So yeah, it was a joke. My degree program was a freaking joke. They've revised the program at NAU because of people like me who were able to bust through it so quickly.
And were you overclocking your online classes or something? Like how did you
so here's how it was, and I know they've changed it since, but essentially what it was is you paid $3,000 and you had basically a 6-month subscription, and you could do as many credits as you wanted.
Sure.
And so I did 60 credits in 6 months. I quit my job, and I did nothing but school, and I busted through it. And they also didn't make it very hard to do. Essentially, you could log in, take a test, write an essay, and you're done with the class. So that's what I did. I went online, pulled up the test, looked up the answers online because that wasn't against their rules, answered them all, got a good enough grade on the test, and then they had me write an essay, and I'm a decent writer, and so I was able to basically BS my way through every single essay and get an A on every essay.
There you
go.
Get
my degree.
There you go, Kyle. Whatever you're doing, don't do it by their rules, man.
No.
Max is the prime example of don't play by the rules. You do it your own way. Don't make them, don't listen to the guidance counselors who tell you, oh, you're going to be here for 4 years. Your mom and dad are going to pay $100,000 in tuition. Or Max is here to tell you, you don't have to do that. You can do it your own way.
Yeah, I think I probably paid $8,000 altogether because my other credits I got at community college, which were probably about $1,000 a semester. I probably did a year of that.
Oh,
and then I got credits in high school too. So I had some credits from high school because I did dual credit.
You had credits coming out of everywhere.
Yep, and then I did two subscriptions to that service, and the second subscription I only did for 2 months because I was done, and then I graduated. So it was wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah. But that doesn't exist anymore. They changed it significantly. So Tyler, who's on our podcast, went into the program right after I did, and they changed it right after he joined in. And he was not able to get his degree done as quickly as I was as a result. But anyway, I digress. So the point is, I am not upgrading my PC because clearly I'm not good enough to do that. But I do, in the meantime, have a new graphics card. And since my Xbox One X broke, it's a nice alternative. I can play games in 4K. My graphics card and my PC is about as good as my Xbox One X, so I'm pretty happy. So with that, let's get into the Project Power review because I really want to talk about this and then really, really want to talk about DC Fandome. So Fandome, or I've heard it called both, Fandome and Fandome.
It's supposed to be Fandome. It's like the E is the place. The Fandome is the place where you represent your fandom. But anyway,
and it was our virtual dome that we all got to attend. We're all in the hall of
I missed like the first two things, like the game and the game announcement, Gotham Knight game announcement, and
we're gonna show you the stuff we want to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube like right before I got on there, so I've seen everything basically.
Oh, well, there you go. We're good. Once we get there, we're gonna replay every single trailer and kind of comment on it as we go along.
It literally took me so long to find it. I was looking through so many websites, and when I found it, I was like, it's just literally a website that has a video.
You know what? And it wasn't very easy. Last night, I was looking online to figure out how to do this. Wish I would have done this earlier, because then I could have done an article on Couch Crunchers to help people. It is easy, but I would Google how to watch DC Fandome, and then I'd go to an article from like a reputable website, and they would never tell you how to watch it. They would say how to tune in, and then you'd read 2 paragraphs, and they never told you how to tune in. And I'm like, what the heck is this? This doesn't give me what I need. And you could watch it on YouTube, but technically that wasn't like an officially sanctioned way to do it, which was upsetting because I was watching the Batman one live on YouTube, and as the trailer for the Batman popped up, they freaking muted the sound because they were getting told to take it down for copyright. So anyway, I was able to watch the Batman trailer, 5 minutes later when it was
save
officially
that for
out.
last. Let's save that for last.
Well, we're gonna save something else for last, but I think we'll open with the Batman.
Okay.
I got the programming down. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk about Project Power, though. This is a new movie on Netflix. It is with Jamie Foxx and help me out here, Sam.
JGL, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Thank you very much. And then a rapper who's just getting into acting. I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now, but those were the three main characters, three main stars anyway. And it was it's just a new movie on Netflix. If you've got a Netflix subscription, I think it's worth a watch. It's not going to blow your socks off. It's nothing incredible, but it's something if you're bored during quarantine and you got a Netflix subscription, I say give it a watch. Let's start with our illustrious guest, Quantum Kyle, though. What did you think of this movie, Kyle?
Thinking about it, because I just watched it this morning, so I remember basically everything. So, and it usually takes me a while to process it, but initially, I actually really liked it. I thought it was pretty entertaining.
But, go ahead.
But there were definitely flaws with the movie, like every movie, of course. But I really liked it. I really liked the characters. I thought they were really likable. I thought they were really entertaining, and the story was decent enough to be entertained by. But yeah, that's why I thought I really liked it.
Okay, cool, awesome. Well, Sam, I know you said you had a lot of thoughts, so let's hear from you.
All right, so I had to break this one up into two sessions because I fell asleep in the first half.
All right, strong opening.
I enjoyed the one thing that I really, really thought was pretty cool was the power delivery mechanic where they're taking these pills and then it's kind of a crapshoot what power they're going to get. I thought that was a really cool thing, and the effects that they used. I thought, for example, Machine Gun Kelly, his character with the fire powers, that was very, very. It was awesome. Honestly, I thought the effects were really, really cool. I thought the concept was really, really cool. And the only thing I really had a problem with was that the characters themselves were I don't think Jamie Foxx is the guy that they're hoping comes back for the sequel. I feel like he kind of comes in and the story kind of revolves around him, but he's not the returning character. I feel like it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt and the girl who played Robin, Dominique Fishback, I think is her name. And those are the two who are going to be kind of the central figures of this universe. It was interesting enough. I didn't hate it. I thought there was a lot to love about it. We've seen a lot of iterations of superpowered humans and normal situations now. This one took place in New Orleans, which has a lot of crime, has a lot of kind of seedy underbelly that is really interesting. It hasn't really been tapped too much. There's a CSI New Orleans or an NCIS New Orleans or something like that on CBS for the old folks. But it was really interesting to see New Orleans as kind of the setting for this movie. I always love Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I didn't think he really flexed his muscles too much here. He's a pretty good actor. It seemed like his
there
was pretty straight-laced. Well, not straight-laced, but pretty straightforward, I should say. Mm-hmm. So he didn't really get to flex his muscles a whole lot. Jamie Foxx, again, he kind of played one note the whole movie, but he was a man on a mission. He was kind of obsessed with the quest. And I feel like the most interesting character was the newcomer, the young woman who was the drug dealer, Robin, played by Dominique Fishback, right? She was the most interesting character by far, and she found herself in a world where there are a lot of people with abilities, and she's kind of navigating this world between people who want to kill her because she's dealing drugs and they want the drugs, people who want to kill her because she is dealing drugs and they want the money associated with the drugs, and people who want to kill her because she knows too much about the drugs. So she's really the one who's kind of between the rock and the hard place and the harder place. And so she really does a lot with the movie. And she's kind of the heart and soul, because when Jamie Foxx appears and explains his predicament, which is that his daughter is kind of, she's being held captive and being kind of tapped like a keg for her power juice to fuel this whole project. That
power juice, I like that.
That she feels like a kinship to this girl who's being captive, and so she's able to sympathize with Jamie Foxx and move the plot forward. And it wasn't, the reason I fell asleep wasn't because it was boring. It was because it was late at night, and my wife had been watching the movies up until she fell asleep, and so then I was finally able to tap into Project Power. But I did enjoy the movie. I think Netflix has been doing a lot of this type of project lately, where you've got kind of a B movie, but you're plopping some big name actors into the B movie, and it elevates it to some extent, like Extraction and the one that I didn't like with Charlize Theron. I've already forgot it. What was it called?
The Old Guard.
The Old Guard, yeah. And so they've been plopping these big name actors into kind of B movie plots. And this one, it kind of like, it could be high art, it's kind of like The Departed, but with superpowers, right? Like you could see something like that coming around. So I think they did a decent job on this one, and I am kind of looking forward to exploring more of this world, and hopefully it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Dominique Fishback who are coming back, because I feel like they did most of the heavy lifting in the show. And they were pretty good. So, yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was a fun time, but I did find it extremely predictable. Not so much that like I always knew immediately what was going to happen, but it didn't take long. So, for instance, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's captain shows him a picture of Jamie Foxx and says, "This is the key." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So Jamie Foxx is the key. That's interesting, or the source of all the power." I'm like, "Okay, that's interesting." And then Jamie Foxx, you can tell, has an affinity for children, and you can start telling he's got a kid. And I'm like, "Nope, Jamie Foxx is not the source. It's his kid. It's his kid." I knew that. It was like, it's just so easy to figure that out for me. And I'm not usually one that like predicts movies very fast. Well, then a little bit later in, I'm starting to think, you know what? I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt's captain is actually dirty. I think that man's dirty. Well, come to find out a little bit later, his captain's dirty. And that's fine. Like, I mean, if this was going to be a masterpiece movie, I wouldn't want it to be predictable. But it's definitely not a masterpiece. It's a fun time. Like I said at the top, it's worth a watch. It's not just Gordon-Levitt's best performance. It's not his worst performance. Although I've never seen a bad performance from the man. I think he's a fantastic actor. But it's just kind of an okay, blandish character. But overall, it's fun. Like I'm with you, Sam. I like the idea behind the movie where you've got these pills, and you take them, and you don't know what's going to happen. I think that was a really interesting component to the film, where you could take this pill and it could kill you, or you could become very powerful, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character did, where he was super strong, right? Isn't that what it was?
Yeah, he was super strong and kind of invulnerable.
Horrible. And then you had the other guy who was like really, really strong near the end on the boat there. You had Machine Gun Kelly's power where he like turned into fire, but it had, you know, side effects where he had burns all over him. And then if you took too many and he overdosed, he blew himself up, you know, and just really, really cool side effects like that. And which leads me into probably my favorite moment in the entire movie. I'm a really big fan of one-shots, oneers as they call them. I really enjoy those takes that are really long, especially when there's action involved. So my favorite moment in the movie is when they're in the bar and you've got that young woman who took the pill and she's like turning to ice and everything. And you're seeing her perspective in her little cage and this whole fight going on the outside. And like, she's moving around the case and like, you know, tapping on it. People are banging into it and fighting, and it's one continuous shot the entire time, and I found that to be really fun. I'm noticing it seems to be a trend in the Netflix films lately. Extraction had it. Actually, I don't remember if The Old Guard had it, so I can't for sure speak on that. No, it did. The Old Guard, I think near the beginning, had like a one-shot action sequence, and then this one had it. So it's almost as if Netflix is saying to the directors, you have to have a one-shot in every single one of your action movies lately, and I like that. I think that's fun. That was a really enjoyable scene for me. I'm with you though that if we do get a sequel, Jamie Foxx's character, I mean, he would be interesting, Sam, but I do think that the more interesting characters are Robin and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, and by far Robin is the most interesting. I loved when her and Jamie Foxx were in the vet, and he's asking her to rap, and he gives her words, and she was just like riffing off of it.
Oh yeah,
and that was really cool. And I've said on the show before, I'm not super into rap. That's not my thing. But, man, that girl could cut some lines. She was fire. She was good. And she's a legit rapper, is what I found out later. So, you know, not only was she acting here, but, like, she was using her craft as well. And it makes me wonder if, like, she was improvising those lines or if they were written or it was a mixture of both, you know. But I liked that. Like, I thought those were really cool scenes, and I thought her character was really interesting. I loved when Joseph Gordon-Levitt went over to the house and pretended to be, like, the boyfriend of the mother.
That was
hilarious.
Standing there in this, like, he just got out of the shower, and he's just standing there in a towel, and he's challenging these guys who are dirty cops, essentially. And
yeah,
it was a really good scene. I guess he did flex a little bit in that scene, but that was pretty good.
Yeah, that scene was funny. But yeah, overall it was fun. You know, It was fun. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. Like, I think it's worth your time. You know, if you enjoy action movies, it takes a different twist on the superhero genre and kind of combines it with a crime cop drama. And it was fun. I really enjoyed it.
What it really reminds me of is Push.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, it had Chris Evans and Dakota Fanning. And it's been about 14 years since it came out, maybe 2006, I want to say.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Well, maybe not that long, but it's been a while. And it was another one of these, like, people with powers, but, you know, they're not heroes. They're just trying to get it done. They're just trying to get a job done, just trying to survive. And I really kind of like that feel where it's just like normal people who have these extraordinary circumstances. They're not out there trying to do anything but survive. And I thought that made it a really cool vibe, and it reminded me of Push with Chris Evans from a long time ago.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I do remember it well enough to know what you're talking about. It has a similar vibe there.
I think I know the movie you're talking about. Is it the one where Chris Evans has like sideburns and he has like? Is that the movie? I think I'm thinking of another movie, but
you might be thinking of Scott Pilgrim. Does he have sideburns in Scott Pilgrim?
No, let me see. I think I'm thinking about.
He has like a shaved head or like a buzz cut and a goatee.
That's him.
He's telekinetic, and he can he's playing a dice game early in the game, and he like moves the dice with his telekinesis.
With him with finger guns, and he was shooting people with his finger guns. Or was that a different one?
It might be. I don't remember that deeply. I know I've seen it. I saw it once.
I watched that movie. It is one of the DVDs in my collection, but it's one that's collecting dust on a shelf, unfortunately. So,
yeah, I don't own it. I think that was I probably went to the library and rented that kind of a thing. Back when I used to go to the library to get DVDs. Now I'm like, wait, what's a DVD? I haven't put a disc in to watch in a really long time.
Yeah.
I still enjoy having discs though. Yeah, what other thoughts do we have on this, guys? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
I would like to state some bad parts of it that I want to say.
Yeah, absolutely. So real quick before you do, Unknown Reaper Matt is in the chat. He's asking no Lance. Yeah, Lance.
Lance
you mentioned gender. He's revealing his gender tonight. That is correct. So he's not here. We're trying to determine what gender he is.
You have no idea.
More to come. More to come.
Yeah, this is a story we're following.
This is a story we're following closely. We will be back with more investigative reporting later.
The cops are hot on his trail. As soon as we get word from them what gender he has revealed, we'll fill you in.
Well, Kyle, what were some of your negatives? Go ahead, fill us in.
So probably the worst part of the movie that I really thought was really stupid was some of the camera shots. I feel like some of the zooms into the characters, when Robin got out of her little when she was hanging out, the first appearance of her, when she got out, she's putting on her mask, the fast zoom too. I thought that was really lame, and a bunch of overhead shots. But there were some really cool shots, like the one you mentioned with the girl who was with the ice and everything. Mm-hmm. That scene was really awesome. But yeah, some camera angles and some cinematography was really weird, and some of it I didn't really like. But my favorite part of the movie was the one with MGK when he was on fire. The realism, how he was on fire and his skin was burning, and he was becoming a burnt sausage. It was so it was really cool idea. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was really cool. I agree. That was an awesome moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we can sum it up as typical B-movie superhero power fare, but elevated with high-budget effects and high-budget actors who really did a great job. I think Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Dominique Fishback really took this as far as I think it could go with the writing behind it. And it is a decent show. I think I'm ready to give my review.
Yeah, I am too. Well, let's start with Kyle first.
If I had to give a rating, I would give.
You do have to give a rating.
Yeah, and it's out of 5.
That's the whole point of you being here.
Yeah, man.
Don't hold out on us, Kyle.
Maybe a B minus. I'll give it a B minus.
That's not how we do it, bro.
What would it be out of 5?
You gotta start. We're looking at cushions. We want to know how many cushions you're going to be taking up on the couch to watch this movie.
Oh.
One cushion. One cushion is you're ready to stand up and walk out.
So
cushions. You've occupied both cheeks on the couch, but you're really not that excited to stay. 3 cushions. You're now reclining. You're in it to win it. 4 cushions means you're going to rewatch this movie, and 5 cushions means you're never stopping watching this movie.
I would give it 3 cushions. I'll give it 3.
All right, yeah. Fair. Fair.
All right, well, where do you stand, Sam?
I am going to concur with Monsieur Kyle. I think it's a really good one-watcher. And if the universe expands on this in a good way, in a positive way, and we see more complex storylines, I think it could be elevated to a 3.5 or a 4 just by association with some higher quality stories. But again, they did a good job with the story by infusing a lot of money and a lot of talent into the project.
Nice. Well, we are all in agreement here tonight. I'm also at a 3. It was, it was fine. It was good. I enjoyed it. I had a good time, but nothing special.
Anything else? I need to get something real quick. I'm very thirsty. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want you having cottonmouth on the podcast there. Oh, look, he's freaking flexing on us with this freaking fridge, right? He's like, look what I got. That reminds me of when I was popping tops with my Wild Bills last week. Flexing on everybody with my Wild Bills. Here we go. I hope you didn't just brush your teeth.
Was that Sunny D?
No, that's
my teeth. I think the last one brushed my teeth was like 2 weeks ago.
Kyle, if there are any ladies out there, please understand that Kyle does regularly practice hygiene.
Come on.
If there are any potential romantic interests out there for Kyle wanting to know how he takes care of himself, this is not indicative of his usual hygiene. It's just the fact that he does school online now.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm going somewhere, I'll brush my teeth really well. But if I'm staying home the entire day, nah.
Or if you know you're going to be drinking orange juice on a podcast, you certainly don't want to be brushing your teeth at all that day. Or the 2 weeks
if I finish this the entire for till the end of the podcast, I'm gonna actually be really impressed because I love orange.
If you finish that, dude, you win the prize for the podcast if you do that. And the grand prize trophy is an empty bottle of orange juice.
Yeah, I got this morning.
All right. Well, we don't want to get too bogged down with the orange juice details, or get too bogged down in the pulp, so to speak.
We do not.
Let's move on to our next project.
You know what I do want to talk about? It's that new Batman trailer from Matt Reeves.
Yes,
dude, guys, we are gonna do something we haven't done on this show before. We're gonna throw the trailer up here on the screen. We are gonna chit chat about it here today. Right. But we are gonna be talking through it. So if you really want to experience the trailer, you go find it yourself on YouTube or wherever you watch your trailers.
Okay, so first off, I love the color scheme here, and the tape, so that you can't hear it, but there's duct tape, and so the zoom in.
My bad. Hold on. Let me fix this. Yeah. I just realized I didn't put the volume on. Sorry, amateur over here.
Yeah, I agree. It's respecting the animated series, because the animated series was colors were black and red, right? So
that's not true.
Yes, it was. It was the original animated series. It was black and red.
There you go. Hear the tape now?
I didn't hear it, but
I think so.
That's probably my fault.
Oh, you're good. I turned the volume down so we can hear us talking over it. So do you guys think that, right? Let's actually go back on that. Do you think that is Batman?
No, I think this is the Riddler.
That's Riddler.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we think this is the Riddler.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think
so this is the Riddler.
Like a proto Riddler, or maybe a new villain but they were in the lead up to this teaser premiere. They were talking a lot about the Riddler, so I'm guessing that this is the Riddler. And in fact, at the end of the trailer, you'll see some question marks, which anybody who knows Batman fandom or Batman lore knows that the Riddler is all about the question mark, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
I think that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, well, and what I like about this trailer is that it's telling us who the main villain is, because we keep hearing about Penguin and Riddler and some others, and it's seeming like the main villain here is Riddler. Also, now that we pause on this is green. It's definitely not Batman. So Riddler, I think you guys are totally right. That's Riddler. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah,
what a way to more lies, man.
What a way to go. All right, so we're looking at a very high profile murder though, because look at this house. That's Gordon. So that's Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon.
That's Batman right there. I love how his outfit is clearly homemade.
Oh yeah, it looks so good.
All right, let's pause there. Let's go back to the birthday card.
Before we talk about birthday card, I want to say something. Remember when the suit images were leaked on set and everything? I firstly, when I initially saw it, I actually thought it looked really bad. And from this trailer, it actually looks really cool. So I just want to say that.
You're changing your tune, what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, so we're looking at the handwritten portion on the left says, "What does a liar say when he's dead?" Right? Isn't that what it says? Did you think
Yeah. What does a liar?
And then on the right hand, it says, "Haven't a clue? Let's play a game, just me and you." And then it's got some coded language at the bottom.
Yeah, you can't read the whole thing, but yeah, I think you're right. What does a liar say when he's dead?
And you can see the question mark appears in a lot of those coded symbols there. So I think the top word there is Batman. So Batman, and then I don't know what the bottom word is, but the top one is Batman. You've got two repeated letters where the A's would be in Batman. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then at the bottom, so we've got
Wayne. Would it be Wayne?
No, well, you've got the T being repeated twice. So Batman.
But.
Oh, okay.
And then.
Well, that's here. So this would be an M. That's an M.
Yeah. And then the N at the end. So N blank MTT. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah. I didn't even catch that stuff, so I'm glad we're rewatching this. These little moments go by so quick you don't even notice half the time. That's interesting. Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's see what else we got here. To the Batman. Okay, so here's our first look. Let's pause. Robert Pattinson looks fantastic.
He looks dope, man. He looks really good.
I am really excited about his portrayal. I think this is going to be great. I mean, it seems like at least Jim Gordon's squad has kind of adopted him as a mascot for their detective squad because there's several people in this room with him. It's not like he's talking to Jim Gordon alone. You've got people milling about in the background. This is a crime scene, and it seems like he's fully welcome here. So clearly he's been on the case for a while now. And during their introduction to the teaser, they talked about how this is year 2. This isn't Batman year 1. This is the Batman year 2 of his experiment with Gotham. So it seems like he's done well to ingratiate himself with Gotham City Police Department.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to mention too, is that it only took a couple years, and here he is, like you said, ingratiated with the police department. I think that's really interesting and telling. I also think it's really fun. Like Matt Reeves before the trailer was talking a lot about the movie, and he was mentioning how this is not an origin story, how it's going to inform his origins, and we will get some of that, but that we're just going to get right in. This is Batman in year 2. He's new. Things are homemade. He answered a question they asked, how long did it take to develop the Batmobile and stuff? And it's crazy to me how much effort and time went into the suit, the Batmobile, the bike. He said they spent like a year on just that stuff, that they really wanted to make sure that this looked like a gritty, grounded Batman that made his own suit, and I think it looks like that. Like his cowl, like if you come over and look at his cowl, you can tell it doesn't perfectly fit his face there. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't look perfect. And that's okay. Go ahead.
See, I think a lot of this kind of is going to be like a detective story. Like we saw Knives Out, right? We saw Sherlock. We've seen a lot of detective stories coming around lately. We just had Orient Express. Soon we're going to have Death on the Nile. And I think the Batman is the debut of Batman as a detective. And that's kind of an angle that we really haven't seen a lot of with Batman. in his movie or his movie adventures. It's mostly been action. It's mostly been superhero driven, where these ideals, these very high ideals of good and evil, and pushing towards something. And I think that are pushing towards an ideological conflict. And I think here with the Riddler, we've really got a really good opportunity to showcase Batman as a detective. And here he's coming in like he's Benoit Blanc, and I think this is Batman's debut. If he comes in with a Southern accent like Daniel Craig, I mean, who might have?
Well, you'll hear his voice later in the trailer, and there's no Southern drawl. Let's move on.
I love the leather cowl. I love it.
Okay, so this guy that was the previous police commissioner. He was played as Commissioner Loeb, I believe. He was played by the same actor, and not this actor, but he's portrayed in both Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. In The Dark Knight, he's killed by the Joker.
Yeah.
In Batman Year One, the graphic novel, Commissioner Loeb is corrupt, and so this guy definitely gives me that same kind of vibe, and I think they are borrowing heavily from the elements that were present in Batman Year One.
Yeah,
I hope you're right, because I think that would be an interesting spin on what we've seen in the past. Give us a corrupt version of Loeb, whereas the Dark Knight trilogy gave us a good man. He was a good man. I would love to see that.
I think you're right. I don't think they took a stand on whether he was corrupt or not. I think you can kind of guess that anybody in Gotham who is leading the police department there has to be aware of corruption, but they're doing their best to navigate it. So they may be corrupt, or they may be only part corrupt. But I think there's a good argument that anybody in the Dark Knight trilogy who has made anything of themselves in the police department has probably had some level of corruption. But it wasn't overt. I don't think it was overt. And we may see something more direct. I mean, you heard Matt Reeves talk about it, and so did I. He said that there's one cop in particular who's very corrupt, and we're going to see a lot of them. And I don't know if it's Loeb or if it's going to be Flass or Flat. I think it's Flass, Detective Flass, who in Batman Year One was the biggest corrupt cop, but he was also a big dude. But it could be Loeb.
I think that's really interesting. I hope you're right. I'm getting more and more excited about this movie, and it's funny. Like, I was watching all this stuff so intently today and thinking that I'd have the most to say about it, but you have much more to say, and I totally am okay with that, Sam. I love it. No, you're good. You're good, dude. No, you're giving insights that I had no idea about. I didn't know about the Loeb thing. I didn't even know that was Loeb. I didn't realize it was Riddler earlier. So
I mean, I don't know if it could be. I think
fair enough.
Is.
You're speculating it's Loeb. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what this movie is going to focus mainly on, just the corruption of the GCPD and the corruption of Gotham and how dark it is.
Oh, I want to go back. Give us our first look here at Bruce Wayne. Let's see if I can pause it. There we go. It's a decent pause there. So that's our first look at Bruce Wayne. I saw this image posted earlier. Now, obviously, this just looks like Robert Pattinson, but you can see his hair is like down. And that really gives those similar vibes of what we saw in Batman Begins to the Christian Bale Bruce Wayne. And I really like that here, how it's got, to me, it's got like this more disheveled, already broken, person, which Batman is a pretty darn broken person. But considering this is at the beginning of his career, he should be still especially broken. So,
well, I think if you put Quantum Kyle's haircut up next to this one, I think you'd see a lot of similarities. I think what you're looking at is a young man's haircut, and that's what I think they're trying to portray here, is that he's young.
There we go.
There you go. There's Kyle, his long hair. It's all over. Whereas Max and me, Max and me, we don't have that kind of long, crazy hair.
Let's see here. Sam's hair,
Dad hair,
little shorter,
we got dad hair,
and then me.
There you go,
Really nothing. I got nothing left. So well done, Pattinson.
That's a haircut that says young man. That's what I have.
Well, I think Pattinson's older than me, so this is a little depressing.
How old is he? He's like 30, right?
Yeah, he's about. No, he's not that old.
All right, so here we go to the Batman. So I liked this moment too, where you've got the Riddler sending another message, and this time it looks like, I'm going to rewind a bit. Looks like this guy's got a bomb attached to his hand.
Yeah,
you guys agree?
This is so much grittier than all the other Batman movies.
I'm starting to think this is going to be rated R.
But look at the car. Look at the car. The graffiti on it is coded messages.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either. And then, are they at a memorial for a dead cop, you think? Is that what's going on over here?
I don't know if it's a dead cop, but it is a funeral in a church.
That could be the guy that we saw.
I think if it was, that makes more sense. It's probably the guy we saw at the beginning. Because a dead cop, I think if it was his funeral, they'd have him in police uniform in the picture. Maybe not.
The rich guy who had the tape on his face, for sure. There you go. Yeah. And you've got the cell phone on the tape to the guy's hand as a detonator. His mouth is taped shut. He can't speak. Very reminiscent of the way the Joker handled the hostage situation in The Dark Knight, where the hostages looked like bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo! It's looking good. And
there we go. First look at
Catwoman.
There you go.
There's a picture of the back of her head. Boom. I like that. So that shows us that kind of like Catwoman vibe. And you can tell she's very early on too, because let's go back a little. And it's very clearly just like a ski mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing fancy. Again, they're going for realism here, right?
So Zoe Kravitz is playing Selena Kyle, Catwoman.
Yeah. Oh, another look at the cowl. Whose voice is this?
Let's go back.
I think.
Let's go back.
What do you want to go back to?
To the gang.
This gang?
With all the face paint.
What's that?
That's probably a cop. But
it could be like
gang of youths, misguided youths. It reminds me of The Dark Knight Returns, The Mutants, where Batman beats up the leader of the mutants, and then he takes over the gang. And so I'm looking at this gang, and they're looking like the Joker. You can see they've got kind of the similar face paint. He's got kind of a Glasgow smile painted on his face. So this may be the proto-Joker gang, or maybe like a mutants type gang from Dark Knight Returns.
I'm getting more mutants vibes from them, but you could be right. It could be a proto-Joker type thing.
So we're going to see what happens here.
I actually would prefer. I would prefer if it's mutants because
there are a lot of
seen enough Joker.
Yeah,
go ahead, Kyle.
That Joker from like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is like this is like related to that. Like it's in the same universe, and this probably maybe is like his like followers or his like fan base or whatever.
I mean, maybe.
Could be.
Because I think this takes place, well, clearly it's modern. That was a modern cell phone. The Joker movie took place in the 80s. So if that's the case, then, that Joker is now 60 years old, But that's not to say a 60-year-old Joker couldn't go against a 30-year-old Batman. Joker's not known for his physical prowess. But I don't think Joaquin Phoenix is going to be in this. Let's just set that expectation.
Not in this movie.
All right, so now we also see Batman facing off against Gotham PD. So Batman facing off against a mob of thugs. Now he's up against the Gotham PD, who at the beginning of the trailer were his friends. So then there's friction between him and the PD. That was Catwoman. She's up against
Batman.
Well, so first off, the people with the guns. Let's go back a little bit. These are mobsters. Those are not cops.
Yeah. But I'm saying she's fighting Batman, it looks like. Because he's probably catching her in the middle of a crime. So is that Dano's voice? Are we hearing Riddler? Is that who's talking in the background, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't hear what it's saying.
Yeah, I can't hear.
Here, let's hear it a little bit. I'm gonna turn it up a little.
Yeah, turn it up a lot. Yeah,
I think that's Riddler.
Yeah, I can't hear it, but I remember from the trailer, like, I think that, yeah, that's definitely Riddler. Because I think I saw a live stream.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, no.
Oh, it's fine. I think I saw a live stream of them explaining, like, that's the actor for Riddler. That's, like, how he sounds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Paul Dano is the actor for Riddler. Sorry.
So let's come back to this. Yeah, this is what the scene I wanted to come back to. This is a continuation of the scene we saw earlier of the car driving into the funeral. And here we see the funeral still set up. There's the SUV on the stairs with the coded language on it and a bomb going off. So it's a continuation of that scene. Looks like it didn't end well.
No. No, that person right here is telling me it did not end well. And for you guys listening to the podcast, I'm sorry. I think this might be an episode you want to watch the YouTube video. Because we are very reliant on what is visually on the screen. I mean,
I think we're doing a decent job explaining. But now we're back to the duct tape. Let's go back to the.
Was that Batman? He's duct tape?
Yeah, that was. This is back to the duct tape at the beginning. We see the proto Riddler with his duct tape, in his green coat, and he's stretching it out. He's pulling it out. So we're gonna see what he's thinking of. We'll see a little bit more about this duct tape, but this is back to the very first scene where he's killing the man with the duct tape.
Yeah.
So now we're back to the gang.
That definitely is more of a Joker look with those lines right there.
That's what I was talking about. They have the Glasgow smile painted on their faces. Very Jokery.
This scene's my favorite of the trailer. This scene is bad A.
I know.
All right, guys. I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit so you can hear these punches, man.
Oh, my God.
Bad A.
So
what we're seeing is Batman taking on the leader. We'll see the Batman taking on the leader of this mutant / Joker gang and just beating him down. He just sounds like he's cracking his skull.
And then he says, "I am vengeance."
I am vengeance. Oh, God.
And listen to his voice, guys. This doesn't sound like cancer, and it doesn't sound like a radio frequency garble, which I didn't mind in the Snyder's Dark. Well, the Dark Knight was throat cancer.
Oh, I see.
But then Zack Snyder's Batman was more of he had technology.
Scrambler.
So let's hear this. I'm vengeance, but not cancerous like I just did it. I just love it. I think it's.
Sam, can you hear that?
I can't hear it.
I don't hear it.
I don't think you're sharing.
I got it on my phone right here, so let me just.
Did I not? Well, hold on. Let me fix it. I thought I did the share audio. Let's fix this. Did you hear that?
No, I'm not getting it.
Man, I thought I had the volume being shared, but I guess not.
That's all right.
Oh well.
Play it right here.
It'll keep them from striking our video.
There you go.
That's all right.
So I don't have the video, but I have the audio.
I'm vengeance.
Boom.
I'm vengeance. Yeah. He's just kind of whispering.
It's a combination of just the Bale's cancer voice but toned down. Like it's toned down so it won't sound like crazy cancer, like really bad. It just sounds so much cooler. It's so good.
Yeah, I love it, and not sure what's going on with the audio, but oh well. I guess you're right, Sam. It does prevent them from getting too mad at us.
That's true.
Yeah, I think this is going to be more of a detective story, and I like that. I think that's an aspect of Batman's job and his personality we don't often get to see, but he is in comics known as the world's greatest detective. So I'm really eager to see that kind of Sherlock Holmesian problem solving coming out.
I hope we get to see, like, from the comics, like, in the comics he's a ninja. You know, he can fight like a ninja. And from that scene, I think we're going to see, like, a lot of.
All right, so let's go back to the Batmobile and take another look at that. Our first shot of it is from behind, and it looks like it's got some very high-powered thrust system going on at the back, and we've seen a lot of that. But this looks more hot rod. This looks more drag racer type engine setup. And if you turn it, and when we get to the next little camera angle, go ahead, advance the camera or the screen a little bit. There we go. You can see that it's like a hot rod that's been tricked out, so it's super fast. The frame of it looks like a classic car, like a classic hot rod type car. It doesn't look like a tank. It doesn't look like the old Batmobile from Batman the Animated Series or the Tim Burton movies. This is a hot rod that's been super tricked out. So if you're a car guy who's really into Fast and Furious, what it used to be, I mean, this is going to appeal to you, I think. So car guys will be coming out to check out the new Batmobile.
It's a really cool Mark I Batmobile. Like, it's like starting out as Batmobile. I really like that.
Yeah, I like it. The fact that it's year 2 is why I like it. I wouldn't like a seasoned, 20 years into his career Batman to have that Batmobile. I'd be like, come on, dude. What's going on? An early Batman, I love it. When he gets shot.
Yeah, so that scene where if we go back to, keep going back to the staircase or the stairwell, where he's like shooting up through the stairwell.
That scene.
Right here. Okay, so in Batman Begins, there's a scene where he escapes from Arkham Asylum, I think, by bringing in a bunch of bats. That is straight out of Batman Year One. And this is very reminiscent of that same scene. And in Batman Year One, he has the scene where he goes into a building and he's fighting some thugs, but then Gotham PD shows up and he has to make a quick getaway. And so he does this little high-pitched frequency sonar device that brings all these bats, and they kind of cloak his escape. This looks like the same scene, but minus the bat technology where the bats are coming to cloak his escape. Instead, he's just using like a grappling hook and GTFO,
Yeah, I think it's really cool. This guy's crazy. And this look from behind him just coming up like that.
In this scene, he's standing in front of the mutant gang once again, getting ready to bust some heads, it looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen Jack Reacher, but he does this really great job. Oh, let's pause before we get to the logo at the end. Oh man, the logo is great. But in Jack Reacher, he has this really great scene where he's fighting a bunch of kids in the street, and he says, I only have to beat one guy. The other two are going to be zealous like supporters, but if I beat the leader, then the other two guys are weaker, and then the other two will just run away. So, I mean, we all know who everybody is. I guess it's just a matter of figuring out who's going to run. And so he's standing in front of this gang. Now we have Batman standing in front of the gang, and he's just beaten the leader down, and he told them all he was vengeance. And so they're all checking their man cards, essentially, as to who's going to go next to fight him. But here we have this really great logo, and it looks like it's kind of cobbled together from like a skyline or like pieces of paper cut and kind of mashed together in a very mysterious fashion. And that's why I think we're going to get kind of like a gritty noir mystery movie where Batman plays the world's greatest detective.
Yeah, I think you very well may be right.
Yeah.
I'm stoked, man. It's going to be so good. And you've got one more little scene. I'm sorry, guys. I turned the audio off on my end, and I'm like, man, I need the audio. I don't know how you guys are doing it without.
So now we have
So cool.
freeze it right here. So I love this look. He looks very Crow-ish, like the eye makeup. He's got very dark makeup around his eyes to kind of hide his identity when he's got the cowl on. And now we see that that's something that he's doing. It's not something that they just pretend it just happens. Like, you see him actually putting that on to try and disguise who he is. And it makes him look kind of like the Crow, I think, in this particular scene. But yeah, I am super excited. I'm so excited for this movie. I think I'm going to go back and watch all the Twilight movies just to get ready for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was showing this to my family, and one of my stepbrothers, like sister-in-law, she was watching it, and she's like a big Twilight fan. And when it like showed that scene, she was like, "Ew," and she was like really shocked because she was a big fan of Edward and all that stuff. So,
yeah. So here at the very end, it's announcing. I hope this means 2021, not who knows when it's going to come out, but the year will end in a
3031.
31.
They've got question marks as stand-ins for the twos. Fingers crossed. I hope they're twos. But yeah, 2021 is when this is coming out. It looks absolutely awesome. Can't wait to see it. This trailer was a great teaser.
Oh yeah.
And I probably will not watch any more promotional material for it because I don't want to be spoiled.
I am.
Yeah,
But,
I don't know, but it was really good. So I'm
that trailer, man. Like when I saw it, the first time I saw it, I was screaming. I was so excited, and just before the podcast, I sent it to my friend who's like a really big Marvel and Iron Man fan, and he doesn't really know much about Batman. And even he said it looks like it's going to be great.
Yeah, this is just an indication to me that DC is coming back in a big way. I am super, super excited about it.
Well, before we get to that conclusion, I think we should see more stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Then we can talk about kind of the overall feeling we got from this DC fandom.
Yeah, absolutely. The next thing we're going to talk about is the Wonder Woman 84 trailer. And
I have things to say about this trailer.
You have things to say about this one?
Things to say.
Yeah, okay. I bet this put some hair on your chest.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's pull it up. Let's see. I'm going to take the banner off. All right. I'm going to let you take it away, Kyle. Tell me when to pause because I need to pee. And I'll just let you talk.
Okay. Keep it going. Don't pause it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you, Sam, feel free to tell us the song.
Yeah. Well, I think we should, for our listeners, at least give them an idea of what it is we're looking at. So
yeah.
So we're coming into some like Amazon games and Themyscira. We have a lot of fully grown women, probably in their 20s and 30s, in their primes, and then we get a young Diana who's probably 8 or 10, and she's also competing and she's tearing it up. And then it kind of juxtaposes that image of her as a child with her as Wonder Woman whipping her her lasso of truth
across lightning,
and she's attaching it to lightning. Oh my gosh, it's very
cool.
Zeusian, very Greek, Greek pantheon. And then we get a shot of modern day and Pedro Pascal's character sitting in front of what looks like the White House press room. It doesn't look very clear that he's welcome there. It looks more like a hostile takeover, if I'm seeing it correctly. I don't know. What's your take, Matt or Max? You think he's welcome there? Did I lose you?
I think he went to pee.
Oh, what about you, Kyle? What do you think? Do you think he looks welcome there, or is he?
I think he's like, because I don't know much about Austin Powers. Is that no? That's not that guy's name. What am I talking about? What's his name?
Pedro Pascal. He's the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I know, but like, what's the character's name?
Oh well, let's take a look.
I think it's Max Powers. I think I'm not sure. Let me see.
All right, so Pedro Pascal is playing Max Lord.
Max Lord, that's his name. So I don't know what his name is, or like what like much about Max Lord. All I know is that he's like just a corrupt rich guy, businessman, billionaire, or whatever. And it's obvious, like, because he's probably going to be the main villain, and he's obviously like streaming and like forcing his propaganda out into like other countries across the world, I guess, to do something. I'm not sure, but I don't think he's welcomed, obviously.
So he's kind of a corporate, like a corporate government destabilizer. He's kind of like a Lex Luthor, but geared towards Wonder Woman's sensibilities, I'd say. But his mission is to destabilize, in the comics anyway, his mission is to destabilize government agencies and superheroes that he distrusts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we good to move on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's keep going.
Lots of 80s computers we're looking at here.
Yeah, we're seeing Max
Nice.
Lord, Pedro Pascal popping up everywhere, as if people are not anticipating whatever's going on. And now we're looking at Kristen Wiig.
Now,
Well, you don't like her?
Kristen Wiig's a great actress, but cast as Cheetah, this is probably one of the worst castings I've ever seen in my life.
Why do you say that?
Well, Cheetah is supposed to be like a super villain, like a sick, cool, feminine type supervillain, but Kristen Wiig, I don't know. I don't think she's that fit for the role. And
You know, she may surprise us.
Well, you know what they say, anything you can do, a stunt girl can do better. And I think she has a stunt woman doing most of the stunts here. So it's not actually going to be Kristen Wiig doing the stunts. I think it's actually famed ninja warrior Jesse Graff who's going to be doing the stunts for Cheetah.
Oh, really? That's cool.
I want to say that that's the case.
That's cool. I didn't realize that. That's cool. That's awesome.
I think that's why she was in the but maybe not. Maybe it's just that Jesse Graff is kind of a Wonder Woman.
So there's something interesting I'm noticing in this trailer, and it's essentially that Pedro Pascal's character is saying something to the effect of that all of your dreams can come true, and then all of a sudden, boom, Diana Prince sees Steve Trevor again. He's alive, which we knew. We still have no idea how that's happening, but it makes me wonder if Pedro Pascal's character, Maxwell Lord, has some kind of technology that can make your dreams come true. And you know, what's the cost? I don't know, but
maybe he's not there though. Maybe it's just Diana has a beautiful mind.
Maybe
she has a beautiful mind to go with that beautiful body. Okay, so now we see Kristen Wiig out for a midnight jog. We see Diana and Chris Pine just kind of doing their thing. Steve Trevor dancing along the Washington reflecting pool. And we see there's a voiceover now of like Kristen Wiig doing kind of the Catwoman voiceover from The Dark Knight Rises. I don't know if you guys remember that one where she's like, I don't know how all you rich people could take so much and leave so little for the rest of us. There's a storm coming. And then Bruce Wayne says, it sounds like you're going to enjoy that. And she goes, well, you know, then it goes on. So it sounds like Kristen Wiig is looking to get hers, and there's some envy, some jealousy, maybe some feelings of downtroddenness that she's fighting against.
Which is interesting to me because in the original trailer, it looked like her character was the boss of something. So it looks like we're going to see a journey for her character, and it's kind of interesting. I'm getting the vibe that she's not going to be Cheetah for most of this movie, and we may only see her as like actual Cheetah in the third act, if not in the last like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct. I think we're going to see her kind of journey from meek, put upon female to strong woman to going too far to supervillain, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think we're seeing a little bit of it already in the trailer here, where we see at the beginning Kristen Wiig's character is, like you said, more timid. Now we're at a point in the trailer where she's confronting Wonder Woman in like this cheetah style outfit, but she's not Cheetah. Like, she's still a human, but it makes me wonder if maybe she's already received some kind of serum or used Maxwell Lord's, whatever it is to grant her wish. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking, is that she grants a wish to be super powerful, but there's side effects, and her looking like a cheetah is going to be the side effect.
I think we're going to see her going from cat lady to cat woman to literal cat person.
Yeah, and right now she is Catwoman.
Yeah,
and it's like Cats, like the movie Cats.
And she's already got powers. You see that in the trailer here. Now we're looking at a shot that we saw in the first trailer where Wonder Woman's like getting launched. Well, yeah, now, but Wonder Woman was getting launched into the air by a truck that got like blown up or something, and she's headed towards Steve Trevor.
Steve Trevor's looking mighty fine and doing his best Marty McFly impression in his 80s outfit.
There's a funny joke about his 80s outfit later on in the trailer. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I was excited before, but this trailer has me more hyped than I already was. It's I love this line right here. Steve Trevor's talking about how the way he flies, they'll never find us. And then here's the joke.
She's like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you about radar."
Yep, exactly. And he has no idea what that is because he was a pilot in the 20s, in the 10s actually. And now we finally get our first look at Cheetah. So see if I can rewind here. Actually, I think we get a little bit better picture in a second. So let me wait.
There you go.
I missed it just barely.
There you go.
As good as I'm going to get.
See,
it doesn't look great in this. Go ahead.
I think this looks a lot better than Cats.
That's true.
Yeah, it does.
Quick shot.
Are you checking to see if this is part of the butthole cut of Cats?
Oh man, that movie is the biggest joke. But I mean, now she actually looks like a cheetah, which, I mean, the idea of cheetah has always been kind of silly, and it doesn't bother you in a cartoon, but in live action, it's always, I think, going to look a little funny. I think it's fine. I think, that's what she looks like, and it's going to translate well to the big screen, but it does look a little silly still to me here in this image,
I mean, let's start with the idea that anytime you have a human cat hybrid, it's going to look bizarre.
Fair.
And the real trick here is, how are they building up to it? I mean, the worst part in any monster movie is when they reveal the monster, because it takes away a lot of the fear, it takes away a lot of the trepidation, the unknown boundaries of the monster. And that's essentially what we're looking at here. Like, this is Dr. Jekyll's transition into Mr. Hyde. And now that we're seeing what Mr. Hyde actually looks like, we're like, okay, well, maybe it's not that big of a deal, or maybe it's a little more silly than we thought. But it's all going to be in how they build up to it. So I think they've done a good job in the trailer so far, and eventually she's got to become the monster, and they've got to show us the monster at some point. So is it going to be corny? Is it going to be hokey? Or is it going to be threatening and menacing? And that's really going to be the big question. Our audience is going to laugh when she does this, or are they going to jump?
Well, we'll find out. I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle based on the image so far. We'll see. Barbara, what did you do? Is that the character's name? Barbara?
Barbara is Kristen Wiig's character. And then we see these, like, Wonder Woman appears in this, like, gold lame outfit, like she just came off of some kind of, like, Broadway revival. And she's got these big gold wings, which, you know, maybe they work. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, here we're getting to the joke I was talking about, where Steve Trevor's coming out in an outfit and basically asking Diana what she needs to wear.
He's got yellow slacks, kind of a very Miami Vice type shirt,
and then a USA flag.
He flips around a fanny pack. Like, I don't think I understand all of the fashion here. He flips this fanny pack around, and he's like, "Is this what we're supposed to wear? Am I looking hip? Am I looking cool?"
And she tells him, "No, he could do better."
I think we could do better. And then all of a sudden, he's wearing like hammer pants and stuff. He looks like Michael Jackson.
He's like, parachute pants?
Video.
Does everybody wear parachute pants? It looks funny.
It looks like a lot of fun. I'm
being honest, watching that trailer again, even there's no audio. I'm a little bit more excited. I don't know. I still think the CGI for Cheetah with the face with Kristen Wiig's face on it kind of looks weird for me because Kristen Wiig is not that menacing of a character to me. But I'm still like, I think it's gonna be decent enough. I don't think it's gonna be as good as the first one though. That first one.
Well, DC has set the bar really low when it comes to villains when they cast Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
As long as they do better than that, they're still they're doing all right. So
don't even bring that up to me. I'm gonna go on a paragraph about that. Oh my gosh, I hate that.
All right, what do you got next for us, Max?
Well, I'm trying to decide what I want to do. So let's
we're starting to run a little long. Why don't we cut to the good stuff, the Snyder cut?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. So before we do that, I'm just going to touch on this really quick. I'm not going to show the trailer, but Gotham Knights is a new game coming out from WB Montreal. They're the developers that developed Arkham Origins, which is the redheaded stepchild of the Arkham series, which I still don't understand why, because honestly, it's a wonderful game. Yeah. Very, very fun. Excuse me. But they're coming out with a new game. And what's exciting about it is it actually takes place in the same universe as the Arkham series, and it's a sequel to it. So I'm very excited. You get to take on the role of 4 heroes. You can be Red Hood. You can be Robin, Tim Drake Robin. You can be Batgirl, or you can be Nightwing. And you can play co-op with one other friend online, it looks like. I'm very excited about that. This is why I was hoping Tyler would be on, because I kind of wanted to razz with him a little bit and get hyped with him, because I think Tyler and I will have some real fun playing this game in co-op. And I'm looking forward I want to play as everybody, but Batgirl is the one that I think I'm most excited about, because in Arkham Knight, they let you play as her. They actually let you play as like all of these characters in Arkham Knight. There's like a DLC for Batgirl, and there's like some other little like DLCs where you can play as each of these characters. And of all of them, Batgirl's my favorite. Granted, she plays the most like Batman, and I loved playing as Batman, so that's probably why. But I'm real excited for this game. It looks like a lot of fun. Did you see the gameplay at all for it, Kyle? You looking forward to this one?
Well, is it actually in the Arkham series? Because in Arkham Knight, Barbara Gordon was paralyzed, and the voice actor was different for Batman. So are you sure it's the Arkham?
The voice acting is different, yes, and she was paralyzed, but I mean, it's a superhero thing. You can always make that work.
Well, but it's also like the costume designs are different, and the designs of the characters are different. They look way different than the original characters. So,
maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but they start off talking about how Batman died. which is what happens at the end of Arkham Knight, essentially, is that Batman dies in like the post-credits. Sorry, spoilers for a 5-year-old game, but that's kind of, I mean, they don't ever totally confirm it. They really more so he fakes his death. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe it's not in the Arkham universe. My understanding is that it was based on that. It has very similar designs. The voice acting is different. You're right. Barbara Gordon did get paralyzed in Arkham Knight, but I've seen plenty of workarounds on that stuff. With Arrow had a storyline like that where they put an implant in the spine and they were able to walk again. So maybe I'm wrong on that, but what did you think about the game like as a whole from what you saw? Does it look like it's going to be a fun time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a gamer, so like I'm always excited for a new game that I'm interested in, like Batman, since I'm a huge Batman fan. And in the last Batman game we got was Arkham Knight, or Injustice 2 technically, but and finally we got a new video game based around Batman, which is sick. Well, technically the sidekicks of Batman, but they might bring him in someday. I don't know, maybe.
I could see a world where he faked his death and he shows up, but part of me hopes that's not the case. Like I think it would be really good to not have Batman be the main hero, not have him in it. They don't have to live in his shadow. He's dead. They're now the heroes. I think this is exciting. I'm looking forward to the game.
Yeah, it does look interesting at least. I like the Court of Owls. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, Court of Owls is going to be exciting as well. So anyway, I did want to just touch on that game really quick, so we can move on now because you're right, Sam. We are getting a little long. So let's jump into Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'll pull up the trailer here in a second, but they had a nice little panel before they showed off his teaser, and I just loved the hype around it. I loved the little conversations they had with everybody. They had some of the fans that really helped spearhead the movement come on, and you got to hear from them, and I think that was really cool to kind of see how these people helped make this happen. And Snyder's over here like, I shot all these scenes in 2016, and now I get to like finally cut it all together. Like he just sounds so excited. Snyder clearly has been wanting this to happen. I mean, his Twitter presence of constantly posting pictures to build hype was an indication of that. But this panel gave me the thought that he didn't think this was going to happen, and he was surprised when it did. Did you get that similar vibe, Sam?
Yeah, and I think for him, this is a validation of his vision, and really, he gave me a lot of things to love in Man of Steel and in Batman v Superman. That I think we really needed to see come to pass in Justice League, and it would have set the tone for DC moving forward for the next 10, 15 years. Unfortunately, his daughter passed away, and he was unable to finish cutting the movie, and the story was altered significantly. Joss Whedon from the first Avengers movie and from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., first few seasons, came in to finish the movie, and his cut was the theatrical release, and it was very different. And for me, the real thing that I'm looking for is the Superman resurrection scene. If it is largely the same as the kind of Frankenstein's monster type resurrection we got in the theatrical cut, then I don't know that this is going to be worth the time. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It looks like they've taken a very different route. It looks like they're staying true to Death of Superman, that they're pulling from that, and that it's going to be every bit as epic as we were hoping it would be. So without further ado, I think we should take a look at this brief look at it.
Yeah, very excited to talk about this. Before we jump in, I want to mention one more thing. They did confirm that it's going to be released on HBO Max next year in 4 one-hour parts. This is going to be a 4-hour movie. And he said like they're working on compiling it into one big movie once all the parts are out, which I think would be great rather than having to go back to HBO Max and like watch it all, as episodes, But I'm very much looking forward to this. I am so excited to tune in each week. I am for sure expecting that Couch Crunchers is going to review each episode as it comes out and get this reviewed. And I can't wait. But yeah, let's get into this.
Okay. So first, let's talk about this. This is Hallelujah. I'm not sure whose version this is, but it's a very very chill vibe, and it's ironic that they're playing this song as we're seeing Dark Side.
Yeah, it's a little odd, the music they're playing, and he's got it in an old aspect ratio, like the 4:3 aspect ratio, which I thought was odd as well. But it's kind of fun,
I mean, isn't IMAX 4:3 or is it it's something else maybe?
Well, so when you watch a normal movie shot in normal like widescreen, you'll have black bars on the top and the bottom. IMAX will fill the entire screen. I don't know what the aspect ratio is, but
yeah,
it is
so
a little bit.
It's 1.43 to 1, which is about 4:3. So this looks like more of an IMAX aspect ratio, or it's IMAX versus your traditional theatrical scope, which is basically 16:9 or
it's 16:9 usually, but I would be very surprised if this is the aspect ratio the movie releases in. That would really surprise me. I just think this is what they're doing for the trailer.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd be really disappointed if it released with black bars on the side. That has not been the standard since like 2005.
Well, I'm just saying, if it's the IMAX screens are much taller.
Yes, but when they do IMAX on a TV screen, they'll fill the entire widescreen.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying. So Anyway, that's all I'm saying. So I think Darkseid looks cool. Do you think they're done animating him? Or do you think they're still going to keep doing some CGI effects on him? Because it looks like they could still finish this up.
It looks very video gamey to me.
Yeah.
That said, it does look very high quality video game.
Yes, and I agree. It doesn't look CGI like real to me, but it looks high quality, but it's not quite where I want it to be. Like Darkseid looks cool, but not movie cool, if that makes sense. I agree with you. It's that video gamey vibe to it. But I'm just glad Darkseid's in it. Like,
let's see. Sure. Let's see his motion. His motion looked pretty fluid to me.
There was a secret chord.
Yeah, it does have like a very video gamey quality to the CGI.
All right, so now we've got Superman. Is this at the end of the movie? We think because it looks like he's in the blue and red outfit, not the black outfit. Because from what I'm understanding, the black outfit is what he's going to be resurrected in, and he's going to change into this red outfit.
The real question is, does he have a mustache?
Looks like no. This looks like the original footage.
It looks like, it doesn't look like the mustache reshoots that were so.
I don't
horrible.
think any of those reshoots are going to be in this, unless they spend a lot of money touching up the mustache crap.
Yeah, so let's go back to the beginning of the clip. With a Superman. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now let's go forward. And
he's got a gash in his chest from Darkseid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it looks like
not Darkseid, sorry, from Doomsday.
I think that's from Batman v Superman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. That's definitely the gash in his chest that Doomsday gave him. So maybe it's a flashback or something.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is probably him like reliving the moment of his death as he's trying to resurrect himself.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
And then the next thing we see is a destroyed Justice League headquarters with a trident, just kind of standing up with a bunch of apocalypse spaceships kind of hovering over a destroyed city, a ruined city. You also see some other Justice League artifacts kind of buried in the rubble here. Although the only one very clearly is the trident.
Yeah, so I think this is an indication that we're finally going to get full circle on what Zack Snyder was trying to show us in Batman v Superman. You have that sequence where you see Batman in like this alternate future, essentially, where seemingly Darkseid has won or Steppenwolf has won, and Batman and Superman are at odds and things like that. To me, this seems like another continuation of that. Like somehow they're seeing, or maybe this is the Flash. Maybe the Flash goes into the future and he sees this, because that's another indication is that Snyder said you're going to see some really cool things from the Flash. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think this could be?
Well, so we got the premonition that Bruce Wayne had in Batman v Superman that was never really expanded upon.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be an expansion on the premonition that he had. It could, and the Flash was a key part of that as well. So this could be the Flash and the Batman kind of seeing the future that awaits them if they don't accomplish their mission here, which is to secure the mother boxes and prevent the arrival of Darkseid and Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well that's what I was thinking too. You just worded it better than me. Let's keep going. So we're kind of just zooming out on that post-apocalyptic world.
DC logo, classic DC logo.
New photo of Wonder Woman. What is she looking at? Looks like a little like arrow or a spear.
That is an arrow in some stone. It doesn't look like a very good arrow. It's kind of like a jagged arrowhead. She's here dressed in a very fashionable coat, not in her Wonder Woman getup. So she's definitely on her way home from work when she sees this arrow.
Yeah.
She's not on Themyscira, but it is very like Greek, Roman. I don't know if those are Greek columns or Roman columns. Let's take a look. Maybe I can. Let's see. Greek versus Roman columns.
They do look Greek. What is
Those
the
Ionic? Those are Ionic columns. Which
good Googling. Okay, so what the F is this? We see like a wavy red cape and some like boots. I was thinking this could be Supergirl as we get a little bit further, but I don't know.
No, so it's a hologram of Superman is what it is.
A hologram Superman?
Bruce looking at a hologram of Superman.
Okay.
Then we
Now
see
we get some more sexy Aquaman.
Aquaman headed out to sea. Strip his shirt off and give the ladies what they're hoping for. Then we get Cyborg, pre-Cyborg, running. He's playing some football as the Gotham University.
This is cool because we didn't get much Cyborg at all and Victor Stone. Like that was one of the complaints I've heard from a lot of people that they just felt like there was no development on him. And anyone who says that is right. Zack Snyder said that we're going to get a lot more Cyborg. Like that's the character that we're going to see more of than anyone else. Like, or not more of anyone else, but like comparatively more than.
Yeah, he's going to get the biggest boost in screen time.
That's a good way to word it.
But he seems to be like a very good football player. And then, here's a great shot of Henry Cavill in the black Superman costume, all black with the silver S on his chest. This looks like the chamber from his spaceship that we saw in Man of Steel. And it looks like this is him resurrected.
Mm-hmm. Why in the world Joss Whedon felt the need to cut Black Suit Superman is beyond me. When it appears that there was a lot of footage of it.
It looks so cool.
I don't get it. Like that just baffles me. This looks so cool. And it is from the comic. I mean, the death of Superman is the black suit. Like that's very much there. So it's just crazy to me. Well, this is hyping me up for sure.
You see Wonder Woman talking to a girl from a fan event, obviously.
And then we see the Flash with lots of lightning around him, running to save. I think Iris. I think that's Iris, who he's saving here.
Yeah, she's played by
Barefoot too. Didn't realize that the first time.
I think she's played by the same gal who was in the Charmed reboot and who's in the Disney movie Descendants as the daughter of Sleeping Beauty, and I'm trying to think of her name.
I don't know. There's a better look at her now. We can say that this is not part of the DCEU canon. They have confirmed that. Although I would not be surprised if this is received very well if they change their minds and they say, "Never mind, this is part of the canon again," because there's already a lot of things that are from the trailer I can tell are different.
All right, so her name is Sarah Jeffrey.
Okay. All right. But that's exciting. I think we're gonna get way more backstory on anybody than we did before. Like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the first hour is like a lot of backstory on Flash and Cyborg, especially because we didn't get any from them. Like, we don't know anything about them. Wonder Woman, we had a movie before. We already know enough about Batman and Superman. Aquaman, I guess, could get a little backstory, but he has his own movie now too. You know, but like his movie came out after Justice League did, but still, like, we'll see later in the trailer that we do get more from Aquaman, and Mara's in this too. But anyway, this scene right here shows more backstory on Cyborg we didn't get before, where you can see him digging up a grave, like of his mother, maybe. Like, I don't see the gravestone yet. I don't know if we can make it out.
I think it's his own grave, Max.
Oh, really?
It's going to be his own grave. Because remember, his dad didn't tell anybody what he was doing with his son after his son's accident. So it's his own gravesite that he's visiting.
Man, that's dark.
That is very dark. Jeez.
So we get Lois Lane and Ma Kent.
And now here's the backstory I was talking about, where we've got Aquaman and Mara seeing each other.
Just kind
Which
of
I think we saw.
We did see this in the
trailers originally.
This was part of the theatrical release. It's just got more of.
That's right. She was in it.
Yeah, just more of a darker filter on everything.
Now this is Darkseid, right? Yeah, that's Darkseid here, not Steppenwolf.
Yeah, so this reminds. That's Steppenwolf. Here's our look at Steppenwolf without his.
He looks
big
so much better.
I know. That just like theatrical version, like his Steppenwolf looks so weird and stupid.
Now, here's something we can say. I don't know if this is what Zack Snyder wanted him to look like all along, or if Snyder is benefiting from the fact that people hated the Whedon cut, and so he's changing the look. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he wanted the same look as Whedon, but this Steppenwolf definitely looks a lot better. Yeah. And I mean, I was playing devil's advocate there. I really don't think that Snyder's Steppenwolf would have looked like what we got in the final movie, but who knows? You never know. But this looks way better. This looks like an alien, not just like a human face on an alien. I don't know. I'm loving this. I think it looks so cool. So they got a limping cyborg here. Sexy Superman. Okay, now this is an interesting thing with the mother box, and you see Cyborg's dad here, and he's about to get disintegrated. Like, that's interesting. What's that about?
Yeah, why would they just show that in the trailer? Like,
well, again, maybe it could be some of like a false future he's being shown. You know, there seems to be a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
Now here's a better look at Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf in his like living armor. His armor is like moving as he's standing up.
It looks so cool.
It does look cool.
It almost looks like he has a tail as he's standing up, but I think that's his weapon.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm wanting to sing along, hallelujah. And then you see a real brief shot of Superman in his black suit here, about to pummel Steppenwolf.
To pop Steppenwolf, but I think it's probably going to be a better fight than it was in the first round.
I hope so.
In the cut.
It's too one-sided. I hope Steppenwolf doesn't come out as such a pansy this time around.
Hopefully.
Like, once Superman came into the scene, it was just boring. See, I like that too. Batman seems to be putting up more of a fight here than he did before. Like, he's deflecting shots with his armor, whereas in the Whedon version, Batman really felt like he was just kind of a wimp. And who knows, maybe he'll be not quite as powerful as I want him to be in the Snyder cut, but I did not like how they portrayed Batman in Justice League 2017. Not at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm liking this. And then this, I think, is one of those scenes we're talking about with Flash, where he seems to maybe be in the Speed Force here or something, because something weird's going on, and he's confused. And I think it's going to give us more insight into that BVS storyline that we were looking at. Now we've got Clark hugging his two chicas in his life, his mother and his betrothed. Okay, now that was cool. And this is, let's go back. Victor Stone. Ah, that's a really quick image. Victor is in his, he's in like his Letterman jacket, it looks like.
Yeah.
But
so there's like a million bombs.
Yeah, and he's like deflecting them. Now, again, is this real? Or is this another part of that like vision of the future that could happen? I don't know. That's pretty cool how he deflected all of that.
We're just getting a lot of action shots from all the different heroes. We got the goofy run from the Flash, and then we got the
really weird.
Well, that's just how he's running in all these goofy shots, and because he has to basically run in place, making it look good is kind of a challenge. But we're getting a look of the six, all lined up. Pretty Little Maids all in a row.
Now, this tells me that Black Suit Superman stays for a long time, because that outfit of Batman is the outfit that he's wearing at the end of Justice League. So this, plus we saw it earlier in the trailer, Black Suit Superman fighting Steppenwolf. So that is definitely a big change. He was not in the black suit in the original version of the movie.
Now, the thing that this trailer is doing is showing everybody the things that they were hoping they were going to see. These are all the scenes that fans were hoping for, and that Zack Snyder probably got wind of over Twitter that they were hoping for. And so he's like, it's funny you say that, because I actually shot all those scenes, and if I had done my movie my way, they would have all been in there. And so now when he's piecing this teaser together, he gets to put all of those fan love moments, those fan service moments into the trailer, and give them what they were hoping for. So this is the fan service teaser, I would say.
Yeah, I think you're right. So now we just kind of see more of the Justice League, and mostly scene. There's a little bit of a stinger at the end here. So Flash is talking about how this guy, Steppenwolf, has fought hundreds of thousands of others from other planets, and he's always won. And then Batman says, I don't care how many demons he's fought. He's never fought us.
He's never fought us. We've got Goku. He's never fought Goku.
Only on HBO Max 2021.
Yeah, so this is looking so good. I'm really excited for this. And the thing Justice League was the victim of unfortunate circumstances. And the thing is, Ben Affleck, unfortunately, got a lot of flack for his portrayal of Batman. But honestly, I don't think he did a bad job. I think he did a decent job.
I agree.
Casting, and I've said this on the podcast before, I don't think casting is DC's problem. I think their problem is that their tone is pretty dark. And so the Man of Steel, for example, it was very dark, and they had like a dark filter on the movie the whole time, even on parts that were exciting and joyful. And so they weren't like a ton of fun. It was almost like comic book church.
I almost like comic book church because I love that stuff.
But it was a good movie.
I rewatched Man of Steel over the last 2 days. I watch that movie every like 6 months.
The music in that movie is so good, man.
Oh my god, it's so good.
And they use that music to kind of underscore the whole DC Fandome event. But I think with this Justice League movie, we're going to get a return to the first 2 acts of Man of Steel. That's my hope. I really enjoyed the first 2 acts of Man of Steel. Batman v Superman had a lot of good things going for it. And everyone freaks out about the Martha bit, but I actually like the Martha bit.
Yeah,
because here's the deal, right? You are fighting this guy who's basically God, right? Superman's basically God, and you find out he's got a mom, and that his mom's name is the same as your mom's name. That changed things for you, right? That changes things. It's like, okay, maybe he's not all bad. Maybe if he's got a mom and his mom's anything like my mom, maybe we can work things out. Like that does change things. And maybe it was just too quick. Maybe it was just too simple. Save Martha. Maybe he could have said, "Got to save my mom, Martha," or something like that.
Yeah, I think he could have said more.
But finding out that God has a mom, like that changes things in a big way. And the thing about the DC Man of Steel, Zack Snyder universe, whatever you want to call it, it's basically Superman is Jesus and the Justice League are his 12 apostles. And he's building the Church of Superman. And so that's why I hate the resurrection scene in the Justice League theatrical cut, because they turn it from Superman raising himself from the dead to Frankenstein, where they use all this electricity and the DNA from Doomsday and from Zod and all this other crap. And it kind of takes away the religious mystique from it all. And that's not good, right? You kind of like this religious mystique because it gives you something to tune into. At least I did. And so I hope Zack Snyder goes back to that. I think I've already explained it enough that I don't need to rehash it, but this looks really promising.
I agree. I'm very, very excited, and I think DC's in an amazing position to just strike hard this decade.
Yeah, that was something that we were talking about on the text conversation before. So the Dark Knight trilogy, Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, basically owned the early 2000s. It was the best superhero property, bar none. The Batman Begins was so good, and the Dark Knight was easily the best superhero portrayal ever up to that point. And so DC kind of had their free reign in the 2000s, but they kind of squandered it. They were basically testing new waters after Batman had gone all campy, and they're like, let's go back to like gritty realism with Nolan's vision of Batman. And then they kind of got overshadowed by Marvel, who came out with all this very fun portrayal of superheroes, starting with Iron Man, and then it picked up in 2010, and they kind of took over in 2010 and made a bunch of really fun movies. And it was a very different formula from DC and Warner Brothers portrayal of superheroes. And for the most part, in the 2010s, Marvel was kicking butt. I mean, they made a ton of money, billions of dollars on their movies. And DC just kind of floundered in the 2010s. But now it's a new decade, and we're seeing what DC is doing, and Marvel is kind of stumbling to get back into the studio. And we don't know that the new Avengers are going to be as cool as the old Avengers. And I don't know that I'm going to like Captain Marvel as much as I liked Iron Man or Captain America. And DC is coming out with some heavy hitters. I mean, Wonder Woman is great. Shazam is great. Aquaman, pretty good. It could be great. This new The Batman movie looks fantastic. The Joker was great. And they're making some more mature offerings, some more gritty. They're going back to the gritty. And it does look really interesting. It looks really good. And it could be a big moneymaker for her. So 2020 is be the decade of DC.
I think it could be. And I think it's interesting because I don't think DC is changing their formula that much. They're sticking with the dark and gritty, it looks like. In fact, they're almost doubling down on it. And I think that fans of this genre are beginning to embrace that more. I think that The Dark Knight was dark and gritty, but that people were like, no, I want some like fun and some spunk in my superhero movies. And then even near the end of the 2010 era, you had Marvel fans clamoring, give us something a little darker. And then Infinity War and Endgame came out, which were a little darker. Not DC dark, but a little bit darker. And it just is showing me that fans are wanting that little darker edge to it now. They're changing their preferences a little bit. Again, the audience is kind of growing with this genre. Joker was exceptionally dark and people loved it. Now, Shazam is an exception. It was more of like a Marvel movie made by DC. People loved it, and I think that's fine too. I think that Shazam should remain that way. But Batman is doubling down on the gritty. They're not going kid-friendly here. Like, I could almost see this movie being R. It probably won't be because they want Batman to have that wide appeal, but it's going to be a very hard PG-13 is what I'm expecting here. And I love it. I'm so excited. I would not be surprised at all, though, if the Snyder Cut's rated R. His ultimate version of Batman v Superman was. So I wouldn't be surprised if the ultimate cut of Justice League is. But we'll see. I'm very excited, and I think the future of DC is bright. You've got these new games coming out. Now, the Suicide Squad one that Rocksteady's coming out with, I'm less excited for. But the Suicide Squad movie, which we didn't talk about, we don't need to dive into, but it looked good. Like, from what we saw today, that looks interesting and fun. I love James Gunn. And then you've got, the Batman. You've got Snyder Cut. You've got Black Adam that looks pretty cool. And you've got this new Gotham Knights video game. I think DC's killing it. I'm very excited for it. Any final thoughts, Kyle, before we end the show up?
Again, with the Snyder Cut, I don't want to be too excited about it because last time I was extremely excited about a movie was with Batman v Superman, and y'all know how that turned out.
Yeah, it was a masterpiece. I still don't understand people's Love that movie so freaking much.
Max.
Personally, I hate it.
That's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. Most of the world's wrong. I get it. It's fine. I've embraced it. Not everyone is as enlightened as I. But proceed.
Well, everyone has their opinions, Max. And my first was it's not great. It's not good, and I don't like it. I love Batman, though. I love the dark take on it, and like the action scenes are great. But I feel like the Snyder Cut is actually going to be decent, at least, hopefully. At least, but I'm not going to be too excited because I don't want to get my hopes up.
I got you.
Here's the thing. I don't know that we can be excited if you haven't drank that whole pitcher of orange juice.
I'm close. I'm so close.
See, you got to drink. You got to finish the job, man. Got to get it done. There we go. That's a virgin screwdriver.
But yeah, but if it does turn out like really good, I'm gonna love it because my expectations were low. So
okay, yeah, there you go. If it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
Period.
So, because like expectations, like going into Batman v Superman, that's probably why I hated it so much when I first saw it, because my expectations were so high. Because and it was bad, so I thought it was terrible. So maybe if my expectations are like decent and this movie is a masterpiece, it's probably gonna be my favorite movie of all time.
I get that. Expectations do make a difference.
Yeah, so hopefully it's good. Snyder's movies haven't been the greatest. Man of Steel was good. I like that, but Batman v Superman wasn't that great. So, but hopefully it's good.
Yeah, I think you've let us know your position. You want it to be good, and if it's good, it's good, and if it's good, you'll like it.
Yeah, and before we wrap, this new Suicide Squad video game, I'm super excited about.
The video game?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. And the movie.
Yeah, the video game did look very good.
Yeah, the movie's
Yeah,
good.
it looks cool. I'm just not sure what to think about it. They didn't show us any gameplay, so I don't really know what to think yet.
Yeah.
But the CGI trailer looks interesting.
Yeah, the new movie looked crazy. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
James Gunn's specialty is crazy. And
He's awesome.
I have been following Flula Borg for a long time. And he is portraying a character called Javelin in the Suicide Squad. But I knew Flula back when he was walking around the streets of LA asking people to name 3 Germans. Which is a fantastic video. You guys can still look that one up on YouTube. Name 3 Germans. Germans are great people. Name 3 Germans. Yeah. And he goes around asking people to name 3 Germans. They all say Adolf Hitler.
I mean, it's the most famous German ever.
And he's like, he was effing Austrian. It's not even German.
That's true. Jeez.
So, yeah, you've got Germany is very great. Name 3 Germans. And he says, Dirk Nowitzki, Angela Merkel, and Ludo Udendorf, I think is the guy's name. But he named 3 Germans. And Flula Borg is German, so you got another one right there. Anyway, I think the Suicide Squad looks absolutely bonkers, which is fantastic. Because the premise is bonkers. You got to just kind of lean into it. Polka Dot Man and the Rat Catcher 2 and Javelin just look like
I'm so excited.
super silly characters. I'm glad Captain Boomerang has come back. They've got Idris Elba playing the Deadshot stand-in, and Harley Quinn makes her return. So I think they've got a lot of good bona fides going into this, and I think the Suicide Squad is going to be great. But I think this is all part of the decade of DC. I think 2020s could prove to be very profitable for Warner Brothers and DC.
I mean, they potentially have 3 hits on their hands. I mean, if the Suicide Squad, the Snyder Cut, and the Batman are all great, I mean, that's 3 movies in 2021. That's a good way to start off the decade, man. Let's
kick it off. It's about fun.
I'm rooting for him. But anyways, I think that's enough for us tonight. Thanks, Matt, for tuning in here at the end. He's been commenting. Thinks Gotham Knights is going to be fantastic. I agree. But anyway, that'll do it for us tonight. And until next time, you know where to follow us, and keep on geeking on.